All right, and we are live. Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa D. Hall, and we are live on Get Well with Mel. I am your source for wellness and health information for mature adults, and we will be streaming every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And when I say, y'all, we have an episode for you today, we have an episode for you today. We will be talking all about the one big beautiful bill and how it is affecting your health care is specifically Medicare and Medicaid. And we have some great guests coming on. And if you are out there and you are watching live and you would like to be a guest on the show today to voice your opinion, just let me know in the comments that you would like to come on live with us as we talk today and go over everything that is happening, y'all. Because let me tell you, it is a lot going on. Okay. It is a lot going on. Can we all say it is a lot going on? So, as you all come in, even if you're on the replay, hashtag replay, can you just go ahead and let me know where you are watching from today? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I can see you in the comments. I know we have some people in Raleigh, North Carolina, in Durham, North Carolina. We also have some people in Maryland. Let me know in the comments. I see we have Miss Patricia. She's in the comments. Hello, Miss Patricia. How are you? She's going to be joining us later. She is from the Bull City Skywriter. They are a local online outlet in Durham, North Carolina, and they give all things news that pertains to older adults, mature adults. And she broadcasts every day at 12 p.m. and she will be joining us later. So I am so excited about that. All right, who else do we have there? Okay. All right. Durham Skywriter from Durham, North Carolina. Who else do we have? Come on in and say hello. Also, special shout out to my LinkedIn family, to my Facebook family, to my YouTube family. So if you are watching us on any of those platforms, say hello. Okay. All right. I see y'all coming in. All right, Durham, North Carolina. Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I see quite a few watchers there. All right, all right, all right. So if you are a Medicare agent, because I know there are a lot of Medicare agents watching, if you are on Medicare, if you are on Medicaid, so those of you all who have senior grandparents, right? If you all have children, or just maybe just an adult yourself who is on Medicaid, you need to be listening right now because there are a lot of changes that are happening. If you're a doctor or you're working with doctors and providers, you need to be watching this right now. Um, and if you're concerned just for your family and friends and want to be informed, you need to be watching this right now. So I need everyone to go and share this out. Oh my goodness gracious, we have Miss Alicia Rodriguez. She is tuning in from California, y'all. Shout out to California. California is, listen, a big beautiful state. A big beautiful state. All right. And I'm just going to go ahead here and send an alert to my Facebook community. One second. Alrighty. Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to go ahead and get this going live right now. Okay, we have Miss Nina Wells. I see her. Shout out to Miss Nina Wells. She's actually a Medicare agent. So we are streaming live from StreamYard. So if you're not registered like with StreamYard, unfortunately I can't see you. But she's here in DC. Andrea Hatcher. I see you, Andrea. Shout out to you. I think she's in Virginia. All right, very good, very good, very good, very good. All right, y'all. So let's get down to business. How about that? Okay. So the big beautiful bill, okay, was legislation passed by Congress in the dead of the night on July 4th. And the big beautiful bill passed by the Trump administration is the sweeping legislation that was his campaign promise. It affects almost every facet of life, right? It affects the budget, the deficit, it affects agriculture, it affects the environment, and most importantly, what we're going to talk here today, it affects healthcare, okay, such as Medicare, Medicaid, doctors' reimbursements, okay? It affects a lot of different things. And so its overall public goal is to fix healthcare, make coverage affordable, and protect seniors, right? And my whole thing with this, right, is number one, my goal, and honestly, whenever I speak, I am nonpartisan, okay, when it comes to issues of fact, okay? Because honestly, this is the issue of fact. What I want to talk about today is how this will truly affect you, what's on paper, and what is happening, okay? So, first thing I want to get into are the details, okay? When it comes to number one, I think the most sweeping thing about this whole thing is Medicaid and the work requirements, okay? So currently, if you are on Medicaid with this big, beautiful bill, okay, you actually have work requirements, alrighty? You have work requirements where you have to work 80 hours a month in order to receive Medicaid. And on top of these work requirements, you have to verify the work requirements and also income requirements twice a year. This is huge. And due to this change, they are expecting over 113 million people to become uninsured. Now, to be fair, again, because this is a nonpartisan conversation, states such as Arkansas have done this in the past. Okay, so the whole work requirement for Medicaid, it is not new. However, there are concerns about this for special needs people having to show that they are working or are looking for a job. Okay. Also, this with this whole big beautiful bill, they're expecting over $339 billion in cuts to Medicaid funding that is affecting number one, rural hospital access. So, since this announcement, there have been some hospital systems that have already kind of put it out there that they are going to have to shut down because the cut in the access of funding for them. So that is an issue with this whole big beautiful bill. Now, I will say some of these changes that we are seeing do not take effect until 2028, which is good. Okay. And the reason why that is good, because we have what we call midterm elections. Put in the comments midterm elections. Okay, I see you all there. Midterm elections. So when you have a midterm election, they are hoping that some of these things do not go into effect or they're able to reverse them. All right, I see some of the comments coming in. Okay, all righty. Another Okay, when it comes to the work requirements, let's talk about who is exempt from them. Okay, seniors who are age 65 plus, they are exempt from the work requirements. People with disabilities receiving Social Security income or Social Security disability, pregnant women, full time students, caregivers. For certain children under a certain age, I've seen age 14 and under, individuals in addiction recovery programs, and uh, tribal populations. When it comes to work requirements, what actually counts as work? Okay, because again, you have to prove that you are working at least 80 hours a month in order to receive Medicaid. So, paid employment, full and part time, job training programs, GEDs or vocational schools, volunteering, caregiving roles. Okay? So if you are a caregiver role and it has to be registered, you would be exempt. Okay? You have to also report your hours. Let's talk about the reporting requirements, okay, for this. Okay? Yes, Deborah Shield said midterm elections. That is correct. So let's talk about the reporting requirements for this. Okay. So those of you all who are on Medicaid, because in the United States, we currently have over 400 million people who are on Medicaid. So I say this to say a lot of you all watching now, you are on Medicaid or you know someone who is. Okay. So let's talk about how you can report your work requirements if you know somebody or if you're affected by this. You have to report them online or a phone portal. Okay. And you have to do it twice a year. The concern, let's talk about the concern with this, because a lot of people will are under the opinion like, hey, if you work, you work. All you have to do is just tell people what's the big deal about working or looking for a job. What has happened, and we see this especially with me being in healthcare, right? We see this happen a lot, but they had a whole thing called Medicaid redetermination this year. And for those of you all who are not aware, with Medicaid redetermination, it was a nationwide sweep. Okay, now this is something that happened under the Biden administration. When COVID happened, the people on Medicaid, the number of people on Medicaid actually doubled. Okay, hashtag doubled. And a lot of those people who were on the Medicaid system, people found out they were unfortunately deceased, or they weren't using it anymore, or they weren't eligible anymore. So what they did is they sent out letters to everybody, and they tried to put it on the news, put it on the radio, and tell people, hey, you had to recertify for Medicaid by the end of 2024. If you did not do that, you would lose your health coverage, right? Sounds simple enough. Unfortunately, what happened, especially when you're dealing with lower income individuals, because that's ultimately who Medicaid is for, a lot of those people couldn't even read. They couldn't even read. They couldn't even get they didn't even get the letter, right? You all will be surprised how many people do not have regular internet access, who are illiterate, and things of that sort. So anyway, a lot of them were not aware they had to renew until they went to their doctor's office and they were told that they did not have any coverage. So the whole thing is, with this whole work requirement, is that the same thing will happen. Now, you will say to yourself, well, if they don't have coverage, they could just go ahead and go on the ACA, right? Sounds simple enough, right? And for those of you all who might not be aware of what the ACA is, right, or also called Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, the issue with that is under the One Big Beautiful Bill is if you fail to certify work under Medicaid, you cannot go and um, get coverage under the Health Exchange, the Affordable Care Act, and get financial assistance. So you're already on Medicaid because you are impoverished, okay? Because you're having financial difficulty. And so if you decide, hey, you don't want to certify or don't certify, you cannot go and just go to the Health Exchange and get coverage and get assistance. So it's a catch 22, okay? I believe so, for those people who are most vulnerable. Okay. Any questions? All right. Next up, you all, because let's see. All right. Another thing with the cutting of funding, right, that I, read online in my research was this, which I do think it is an issue with this one big beautiful bill. Okay. There is a caveat in there for the states that they cannot raise their own money for Medicaid funding. So let's say if the state of North Carolina, state of Maryland wants to raise funds, maybe they'll issue a municipal bond during the midterm elections to fill in the gaps of the government cutting their funding. Unfortunately, they are not allowed to do that. Yes, I know. So that is the issue. I do feel that is an issue. Okay. Any questions, y'all? What are you all's thoughts on this? All right. I see some people. Let me check in with my Facebook audience and their thoughts on this. Okay. Yes, I see them there. All right, for those of you all who are tuning in, my name is Melissa D. Hall. This is the episode Get Well with Mel, and we are talking all about the big beautiful bill and how it's affecting your healthcare pertaining to Medicare and Medicaid. So we thank you all for tuning in, and go ahead and share this out to someone who may need this. So let's get into Medicare and how this one big beautiful bill affects Medicare. Okay. So when it comes to Medicare, how it affects it is this. Okay. First of all, I'm going to just go ahead and placate you and tell you that with Medicare, overall, okay, it keeps in place Medicare Advantage Parts A, B, and Medicare Parts A, B, and C, which is Medicare Advantage. So that is great. Okay, so I love that. That's amazing. Okay, now what it does affect, okay, are the drug reimbursements. Okay, so they call it Part D reform. And with the Part D reform, okay, first of all, okay, it's supposed to cap, and really this is kind of continuing off the Biden administration, the $2,000 a year out of pocket maximum for prescription drugs, which is wonderful. It expands the $35 insulin prices, right? And it does, and I'm going to be honest, this is something that I was trying to figure out, because on some of my research, it says that it limits uh, Medicare's ability to negotiate drug prices. So that could really lead to higher drug prices. So that right there, I was kind of concerned about, because I know with this administration and just with others, that has been a big deal with it limiting. And honestly, the language around them limiting the ability to negotiate drug prices was very vague. Oh, hello, Mrs. Darlene Gordon. Hello there. Hello there. Thank you for tuning in from Maryland. Um, we appreciate you. So, with them limiting the ability to negotiate drug prices, this is very concerning, because I will say this, in other countries like Europe, like Europe and Asia, other developed countries, right? Medications do not cost as much as they do in the United States, right? So let's say for here for Xarelto, which is a medication for the heart, right? We will easily pay, $1,500 for a pill, right? However, Xarelto in the UK will cost, let's say, $250. It's ridiculous. Like they are definitely price gouging us, the pharmaceutical industry. So for them to limit that, that is something in our ability to negotiate. That is something I'm really kind of concerned about. And how also too that will affect the 2000 out of pocket maximum, because the issue with that is that if they are limiting our ability to negotiate some drugs, especially like the most important ones, the brand name drugs, right? Because for a certain time, every drug is considered or has the privilege to be brand name, okay, until I think it's a limited amount of time. Let's just say it's 10 years, okay? Then after that, you're allowed to make a generic of it. So if some of them are limited to negotiate in that respect, then I'm really concerned about which drugs will we really be able to get under that $2,000 limit. And I'm really coming from the perspective of a health insurance professional on that. So that right there, it does kind of have some question marks in my head. So that's something I'm concerned about. And so, hello there, Miss Marsha Reed. How are you? If you are watching the replay, hashtag replay, you all are watching Get Well with Mel. This is your number one source for information for mature adults for health and wellness. And we are talking about all the changes with the One Big Beautiful Bill and how it affects Medicare and Medicaid. Okay. So, next up, you all, another one change for Medicare under the One Big Beautiful Bill is expanded benefits for dental, vision, and hearing. Okay. And that is something that I'm really, really excited about. And I'm also interested to see how this will play out as well. Dental, especially, and vision, those are the number one, and hearing. And hearing. I cannot forget about hearing. Those three things, okay, they are the top most expensive things that I see older adults needing in my line of practice. So to hear that they are going to get some help with that, I am very excited, and I'm also curious to see what these dentists will do. To kind of just give you all just some clarity here, right? The average pair, let's say, of dentures, right, is about $2,500. The average Social Security check in the United States is $1,700. Okay. $1,700. That's the average Social Security check, and more than one third of seniors. So 33% of seniors out here, they actually live below the poverty level. So if you could see the struggle in most plans, like original Medicare, they do not cover dental. Okay, hearing. All right, those of you all hearing, if anybody in who's watching has ever had to address your hearing, you know that it is very expensive. I mean, a hearing aid, it could be $2,500 just for one, and that is on the low end. So seeing that this is being expanded, I am really very curious to see how that will all shake out. I will say a lot of these terms that have come into effect with the One Big Beautiful Bill, they are still very vague. From what I'm reading, a lot of it is left to interpretation, to be honest. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to talk about, okay, was which changing for providers. And once we talk about that, right? We get to providers, we're going to talk about Medicare Advantage, how that's going to change. But I also want to talk about the tax breaks, because the tax breaks, those things, they are definitely changing. And I'm very excited about that. So stay tuned. We are going to talk about these tax breaks because they are amazing. Okay. So the shifts for providers, right? Okay. They are shifting more from a fee for service to what they call value based care, meaning that instead of providers being paid, quote unquote, for what they do, right? So giving you a surgery or things of that sort, they are shifting more towards the outcome, of the patient. Okay. Them staying out of the hospital, things like that, value based care. So we are starting to see a shift in that, and this bill expands that. Okay. It also expands telehealth, which is amazing. Telehealth is huge. It is definitely a growing sector. So it expands that. Also, too, the Medicare Advantage Part C. Uh, so for those of you all who are not aware, when it comes to Medicare, one of the ways to cover the 20% that the system does not pay, Medicare doesn't pay, right? So even if you have Medicare and you pay your Medicare taxes, which is amazing, when it's finally time for you to come on, you still have to pay 20% of your bills. And the way most people have been covering it as of now, it's about 53% of Medicare eligibles, okay, has been through a program called Part C, or also called Medicare Advantage. These are private health insurance companies that have been contracted by the government to provide care. And unfortunately, and this is what you see all the commercials on. Unfortunately, there has been a lot of fraud with them. I mean, billions of dollars of fraud, not just from the providers, but from the health insurance companies themselves, in order to get more payments from the government, right? So now with this one big beautiful bill, they are having stronger regulations on Medicare, marketing, prior authorization, network transparency, cost transparency, requiring carriers to simplify plan designs, and that is amazing. Okay, that is amazing. I am really happy to see that. So we should definitely see just more transparency. One of the things when it comes to complex issues like healthcare, right, is that a lot of the people who use it the most do not understand what's going on. Okay, can we agree with that? A lot of people do not understand what's going on. Let me know in the comments. So I see that Maisha Johnson, she commented, appreciate your knowledge in support of the industry and Medicare industry. Melissa D. Hall. Thank you so much, Maisha. She's an agent out of Ohio. We truly appreciate you. I see Ms. Darlene Gordon. She said, thank you, Melissa, for sharing such important information on Medicare and such. We didn't know as seniors what to do and clarified it all for me and others. You all are so appreciated. That is what I'm here to do. And if you all have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and I will definitely answer them for you all. Okay. So, okay. Okay, so another thing that is being affected with Medicare here, you all, and this kind of comes with a Medicaid cut. And I think out of everything, what really is kind of bothering me with all of this is cutting access to what we call LIS, extra help. Okay. And for those of you all who do not know what that is called the low income subsidy, also called extra help. And it is a program funded by the government that basically helps people who have a lower income to pay for their drug costs. Okay, lowering them down to like $3 a month, $5 a month, or less, right, for their prescription drugs out of pocket cost. And it has helped so many people. So part of the funding for that is being cut by this one big beautiful bill. So we are going to see a lot of people who will be affected by that, and I'm really concerned about the fallout with that. So if you are on extra help now, that is going to be something. Also, one of the things that I wanted to go over as well with this, excuse me, I'm looking at my notes, y'all, because it was so much going on with this, right? It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm happy that I could bring you all the knowledge. Okay, this is it. This is something that is really important. Okay. And supplemental benefits. Supplemental benefits. And I just want to say this again. When I talk about these things, I am not just talking from a I'm talking from a nonpartisan point of view. Okay? Nonpartisan. Can we put nonpartisan in the chat? Okay. So the Biden administration had this thing called VBID, right? So there's value based incentive something. I don't know what the D stands for. VBID, right? And so basically with this, they limited the uh, supplemental benefits, such as if you're on Medicare, right? You all probably see these commercials, you see the ads where they'll go ahead and they'll give you, $500, $300 on a food card, right? So their whole things, yes, Deborah Shields, nonpartisan. That's what I tell people. I am nonpartisan. I'm about seniors. I'm about what's right. Okay. Because I think at the end of the day, that's all that we want. It doesn't matter who it comes from, Democrat or Republican. We just all want a better life. Right. And we want to just be treated fairly. So I am nonpartisan. So back to the VBID and supplemental benefits. Okay. So they have these food cards, they have the dental and all these things, right? And the food cards can be like, let's say $300 a month, $400 a month in some states. Some of them I've even heard $500, okay? And Medicare is paying for this. Now, people need these things, right? People need these things. They also pay for their food, also pay for their utilities. So with this legislation, it has put it in stone, okay, in stone, that they think that these benefits have to prove that they are actually making a difference in the person's health care, okay? Because what has happened is that these benefits and these Medicare Advantage plans have become commoditized. Okay. Hashtag commoditized in the chat. Just like just like car insurance, where you want $5 less, right? It has become commoditized to the point where it has taken the focus off of people looking for a plan that will let them go to the doctors versus how they can get the best food card, right? How they can get the bigger food card versus taking the focus off the healthcare. And honestly, the government is paying so much out in these things. It has really almost bankrupted the system for Medicare. I know you all are probably like, well, they'll just print more money and it's always a deficit, but it has literally gotten ridiculous. So with this legislation, it has really put it in stone, okay, that from moving forward, that if a plan has a grocery card, if the plan has dental, if a plan is paying for your utilities, and I think they've taken a lot of that away, they have to prove how it is beneficial, right? Or the person has a chronic condition. So really this year, when it comes to open enrollment for Medicare, a lot of people who are on these dual plans, right? Dual special needs, or not even just dual plans, right? Just Medicare Advantage plans, period, that are giving them health cards or food cards or utility cards are going to be taken away because the government just really can't afford it. and it's not beneficial, and it's making these more food card plans versus healthcare plans. Okay, and this legislation, the one big beautiful bill, has taken that away. And honestly, you all, I don't know how to feel about this. How do you all feel about it? Do you feel that it has become too commoditized? I see Maisha said it is a lot. It is nonpartisan. Deborah Shields said hashtag commoditized, right? So if you are watching this and you are a senior, you're an agent, you know somebody in Medicare, make sure you are looking at your, we call them ANOC. They should be coming out around late August, okay, where your health insurance provider will be telling you the changes, okay, to your Medicare plan. And those of you all, especially your dual special needs, those of you all who are getting food cards right now, you all will see them go away or be drastically reduced. Okay, so that's breaking news. Breaking news. So if you know somebody, okay, because those of you all watching, if you all know somebody who's getting a food card, who's getting a utility card, prepare to see them drastically reduced or taking them away. Somebody said if they don't, Maisha said if they don't have money for food and help with utilities, their health will be compromised. I totally agree. It will be compromised. It will be compromised. And that's the thing, because a lot of people depend on this. I was watching something, and they said that now people who are looking for food, who are going into food banks, it is over the level for COVID, right? So people are really dependent. You have to remember, a lot of these people, I could say in North Carolina, they're getting on average, $250 a month for food, for their utilities. The average Social Security check is $1,700. Groceries since pre-pandemic, okay, until now, 5 years later, they have increased by over 40%. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal. Now, what we are seeing is more of, I guess, proving it, right? And I guess that is more of like the, again, being nonpartisan, but just keeping it transparent. More of the Republican safeguard, okay, to have people prove, right, that they are in need of these things. And so what Medicare has decided is that they would move it more towards chronic plans, CSNP plans, right? That's also a name for it. So if you have a chronic illness, like let's say high blood pressure, heart issues, kidney issues, things of that sort, they will have plans. They already have these plans, but this year in Medicare, open enrollment season, annual enrollment season starting October 15th through December 7th, you will see these plans really come to the forefront. And those chronic special need plans will be the plans that will be offering the higher food cart levels and the utility assistance. Also, one of the other changes around this whole food card situation too is that, if you go into one of these chronic special need plans, your doctor also has to verify that you are chronically ill. So you just cannot say it. They actually send a letter or fax a letter to your doctor where they have to verify that you are chronically ill. So you will see them reduce the dual plans, right, that a lot of people are already on. Okay, I would say again, 33% of seniors, okay, live below the poverty level. Okay, live below the poverty level. So that's a lot of people. Currently, it's about 64 million people on Medicare. 12,500 people a day turn 65. Okay, 12,500. So over a little bit over 4,000 people a day, right, are under the poverty level, are on Medicaid, will not be able to get help for their groceries, and unless they're sick, have a chronic condition like diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever else your county decides, whichever plan is being offered decides, if they have a chronic plan in your area, you may be able to get some assistance. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about the tax credit. Okay. All right. So when it comes to the tax credit under the big beautiful bill, okay, for seniors, if you make $75,000 or less, okay, you will now be eligible for a $6,000 tax credit. Okay. And that is a game changer for those on a fixed income. Now, if you're married and you make, I think it's $125,000, okay, or less, then you will get $12,000. Okay. And let's talk about who qualifies. Okay. And let's see here. So if you're 65 and older, okay, you must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. Okay. Um, Also, you can claim it even if you don't owe taxes. Okay. Even if you don't owe taxes, you can still claim it and get a refund. All righty. Also, you can receive it as a monthly lump sum. Okay. Or as a one-time payment. Okay. And you can claim it for your healthcare expenses as well. You can write off your healthcare expenses. So your premiums, right? Your dental and vision and hearing expenses, which I think is huge. Which I think is huge. Don't you all think that's huge? I think that's huge. An extra $6,000 you will be eligible for. Also, just to back up a little bit, for the Medicaid funding and eligibility for healthcare in the U.S., one of the things that I do want to point out that has changed with this whole thing is that if you are an illegal citizen in the United States, right? Because just because a person's illegal doesn't mean that they don't pay taxes. Currently, you're allowed to get health coverage as long as you pay taxes. Now they have taken that away retroactively. So that is one of the things that has changed with the big beautiful bill. So I do want to put that out there because I think that is important as well. That they have retroactively taken away a person's eligibility for health coverage with this bill. Okay. Also, I do want to thank our sponsors for today, Silver and Fit. They are our sponsors, Silver and Fit. For those of you all who are not aware of them, what they do, they are a health and wellness uh, company, okay, for seniors. And they have personal trainers, virtual guides. They help you with your meals. They will even come up with a personalized workout program for you. And you actually have a coach who checks in with you on your health and fitness journey. And, you know, you can even do in-home personalized workouts. So thank you so much to Silver and Fit. If you want to see that you are with, if you're eligible for Silver and Fit, is usually a no cost benefit that comes with your health plan. All you have to do is just reach out to your agent, or you can reach out to us at the Hall Insurance Group at www.thehallinsurancegroup.com, and we can see if you are eligible for Silver and Fit and all, or have it already. So thank you so much, Silver and Fit. We greatly appreciate you. All righty. So listen, y'all, this has really been a good episode. I really greatly appreciate you all for tuning in. All right. And listen, we're going to be here same time next week. Okay. And if you want to be alerted of our new episode next week, all you have to do is go to melissadhall.com/get well with Mel. Okay. We're going to be here every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. All righty. Thank y'all so much. And listen, if you have any questions, go ahead and comment. hashtag replay, right? Make sure you share this episode with somebody. This is going to be information that everybody's going to need, especially as we come into the open enrollment periods for Medicare, for the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, health insurance, right? Everybody needs to be aware because these changes, they're going to affect them all. And one thing we can all agree on, right, is that what? Health is wealth. Health is wealth. All right, you all. My name is Melissa D. Hall, and thank you all for tuning in to Get Well with Mel, your number one source for health and wellness information for mature adults. Have a great day.